All right, this is man, the STL stranger Umar Lee here in Krakow, Poland, at the Jewish Community Center of Krakow, which, as we can see over here, was opened by who is now King Charles III, right? The Prince of Wales at the time. So over here you have your donation center for Ukrainian refugees, correct? And we just dropped off donations from St. Louis. Tell us a little bit. First, tell us about the history, how this center started. Because we know obviously the Jewish community of Poland was decimated in the Holocaust, and so how many Jews are left in Krakow, and how did the community center come about?
Of course. So, in the early 2000s, Prince Charles, he came to Poland on an official state visit, and he visited Auschwitz, and he saw the Krakow ghetto, and he was so moved by these experiences that he wanted to meet with the survivors of the community. So, being the prince, a meeting was arranged between him and the local survivors here, and he asked them, "What do you want? What can I do for you to make your lives better?" And the survivors told him, "We really want a place that we can call our own, somewhere where we can gather for coffee and tea during the week and just talk about our lives." And the prince said, "Let me see what I can do about that." And everyone was like, okay. So he went back to England and started working with an organization called World Jewish Relief, which is still one of our very steadfast partners. And together they decided to do a survey of the area to see what the potential was, what project that they could create. Originally, this was supposed to be a senior living center, but they discovered that there was a Jewish community here. There were young people discovering their Jewish roots, and there were many people in their 40s whose parents had been survivors that were now becoming more comfortable with this identity. Something to keep in mind is after the Shoah, Poland's Jews faced 50 years of communism, and directly after the Second World War there were still pogroms like Jedwabne, and then there were the political actions of 1968. So the community suffered a lot, but it's a very resilient community. So World Jewish Relief decided that it would be best if this was a community space for people of all ages. So on April 29th, 2008, the JCC was officially opened with about 80-ish members, and now we have, I want to say, almost over 800, including 80 new Jewish members from Ukraine who we have welcomed since February. And it's been an absolute pleasure to welcome them into our community and integrate them into what we're building here.
Have Jewish Ukrainians came to you with special needs?
Yeah, so there are a lot of different age groups represented here. Something to keep in mind is the migration from Ukraine to Poland did a paradigm shift after the 24th of February. Primarily, it was all men coming into Poland to work, and now was rather exclusively all women and children.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have, mothers with kids who are joining us, fathers who, have 3 kids or more. Some of the dads were able to come, but not a lot. But it's a lot of moms and kids and grandparents. We've actually also welcomed 4 Ukrainian Holocaust survivors into our community. And again, these new members, they join us for weekly Shabbat Dinners. We're having a special Ukrainian Seder for our new members for Rosh Hashanah in a few days, on Sunday actually. We have a rabbi coming in especially to lead the Seder. She speaks Russian and Ukrainian, so we're all very excited.
So you have a congregation affiliated with this?
No, this was through JFNA.
Through JFNA,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, that's one thing I thought about when you have some of the very elderly Ukrainians. These are people that with the memory of Second World War, and now this terrible situation with the war today. So what did you say the population of Jewish Krakow is now?
So right now our membership is over about 800-ish.
No, I mean of the Jewish population of Krakow.
That's very difficult to actually tell.
Okay, yeah.
So in Poland, former communist nations, it's very difficult to give you an exact number. So we come because a lot of papers were lost, and there was a lot of, Jews married non-Jews. People didn't openly acknowledge that they were Jewish for many years. Grandparents gave deathbed confessions. And then you face this issue of you find out you're Jewish later in life, and you are so excited and you want to embrace it, but your siblings don't.
Yeah.
So you can have a family of, say, 7 people, halachically, all could be Jewish, but only 2 are identified.
Yeah.
How many do you count then?
Right,
it's a very interesting game that we play
Yeah.
here. But, we have a really strong community here, and it's, honestly amazing to welcome more people into it.
And how many synagogues are in Krakow?
So there are 7 historic synagogues here. None of them.
There's one next door, right?
Yeah, so that's actually the Temple Synagogue. It's actually the youngest of all the synagogues.
They wanted like 5, what they call zlata to get in or something.
Zlota, yeah. So they are museums right now. They're not practicing, but we do have a Chabad here.
Okay. Are they everywhere?
Yeah. Chabad is everywhere. And, we have members who want to be, practicing and keep kosher, and Chabad helps them do that by having a kosher store. And
they have kosher store here because I'd imagine it's kind of hard to keep kosher in here. Yeah.
But so the Chabad does help people who want to be more practicing, and we are very welcoming to our members who want to be more practicing. We have a kosher kitchen here, so all the meals we produce out of our JCC are kosher.
And you say you have Shabbat dinners
every Friday night.
Every Friday night.
Yeah. And we celebrate all major holidays here. So
I see the posters you have.
We have a lot of posters and a lot of stuff going on. So there's always something. There's something for different age groups. Again, we do cater to literally everyone. We have a preschool here, so we have kids as young as 18 months old. And then again, we take care of Holocaust survivors who are in their 90s.
Wow.
So and we have something for everyone in between, from teenagers, we have BBYO, college, young adults, we have Hillel. For parents, we have a young family club, and there are lots of opportunities for everyone to forge their own Jewish identity.
And what, how did you get started with the refugee issue? Yeah.
We knew right away that a lot of refugees were going to be coming to Krakow. So if you look at the Polish-Ukrainian border, the city that is used for the crossing in the south is called Przemyśl. So after you cross through Przemyśl, the biggest city that you're going to hit here in the south is going to be Krakow. So a lot of people come here because it's easier and it's safer to be in a bigger city. There was already a very established Ukrainian community in Poland with about 1.5 million Ukrainians who, came to Poland for job opportunities, school, and again, if you lived in a border city, like say Medyka Yarosław, it was common that you may have a father, a brother, an uncle who would go into Poland to work and then come back at the end of the day or the end of the week. But a lot of, Ukrainians have been coming to Poland because this war really began in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea and Russian separatist actions in the Donbass. So.
And you got right on the front lines of helping people.
Yes.
You got proactive.
Yeah. So we, everything started on a Thursday. On Friday, we were still processing the situation, but we were setting up hotel rooms for those who needed it. We had Shabbat dinner in this very room, and then the next day we turned it into our distribution center.
What are the real needs that you need to sustain this ongoing effort? Everything. Money.
Money. Financial donations really do help us a lot because the dollar is very strong, and it's very easy to donate to us. You just go to friendsofjcckrakow.org/Ukraine, and you're able to donate there. Because we have a U.S. nonprofit, so donations are very easy to do. But it's easier to financially support us because then we're able to purchase everything that we need. Because the dollar is strong, it goes a very far way here in Poland. So we're able to buy all the food, shampoo, toiletries that we need, and we're also able to support housing projects. There's a point in time when we were housing 120 Ukrainian Roma in a hostel. And we were the ones supporting that project, and we knew that if we didn't do it, they would be out on the street. And nobody else would look at them. So they had their own community. They were able to cook their own food. and we just knew that we had to do it. We couldn't turn anyone away. We are also very active in sending food into Ukraine, making sure that areas that require fresh water, groceries, we have partners inside who are delivering these things. We were operating a distribution point on the Ukrainian side of the Korsava border at one point. Wherever there's a need, we try and fill it, and we're very privileged that we do have friends in the United States who support our work.
Is there any sense in Poland that the war may not be contained to Ukraine?
So what's very interesting about that statement is Poland is a part of NATO and the European Union,
Yes.
which means that in accordance to Article 5, collective defense, we are protected, and that would spiral the world into World War III, because
Yes.
then all of the European Union and NATO would be in a war.
Yeah.
So we are not concerned. If I would have to pinpoint my concern, I would say Moldova, because there are territories there that have been occupied by Russia since 2017.
Right.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. We've learned a lot, and when I get back, I got to pressure all of you to kick in. So thank you very much.
Thank you for coming and seeing our work.
Yeah,